Hi everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make some raised beds for your garden. Here I have some 2x10 lumber, a mixture of lengths, 12 foot lengths, 8 foot lengths, and 10 foot lengths. And I'm going to be fastening the boards together using these 1/4 inch in diameter by 3.5 inch long galvanized lag bolts. So follow along and I'll show you how I make them. Before I actually start cutting the wood, I'll show you sort of an aerial view of what we're going to have. I'm making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 raised beds. These three here will be 10 foot long and about 40 inches wide. These here are 12 foot long and 48 inches wide. And same as this one, this is 12 foot long and 48 inches wide. And this is another piece going down the middle because I'll also be building an arbor to go between here and here. Because in our front yard we have a path that goes up this way. And this is the sunniest area of our garden, so we're hopefully going to capture a lot of sunlight and grow a lot of vegetables. So let's get cutting. So the first thing that I did is I actually separated the 2x10s. I looked at them to see which ones were the better ones. A couple of them I'm using for the end pieces, so I put those to one side, the ones that were a little rougher looking. And then I actually stacked the 2x10s that I'll be using for the long sides with the good side up and the top facing up. So what that means is that, like, say this edge down here is probably the worst of the two edges because this will be going down into the grass, and this will be the outside edge, and this will be the top. So I try to keep the best side to the outside. And another thing to remember is that these 10-foot beds, they're going to be 40 inches wide, and here's two just laid here. So the actual board will be going inside here. So you have to remember that in order to get it 40 inches wide to the outside, you have to take off 1.5 inches here, 1.5 inches here. So each board will have to be 37 inches to cut it correctly. You have 40 inches, so there we have 37 there. So I'll cut a few pieces and then show you the next steps in making the raised beds. To actually speed up the cutting process on this rigid miter saw stand, there's actually a stop that I can set up. It's actually attached to the chassis of it. This sort of slides out to the appropriate length, and I can just raise this bar here and then push the lumber up against that. So what I only have to make just the initial mark and then just slide this up against here, set it, and just to show you now, this is a 37 inch mark that I made, and the blade actually comes right down on it. So now that cuts down all my marking of the boards, just to speed up the process a little. So as I'm going to be pre-drilling these holes before the lag bolts, what I've done here is I've actually scribed a mark. This is going to be the outside of the board. I scribed a mark on the outside just to show where the inside board will fit. The quickest way to do that is actually take scrap. This is for scrap from the side pieces that I've measured, and I just line it up with the inside edge, roughly like that, and just scribe the mark down there. So when this is mounted on the inside, that's how far the board will come over. And then I just took a tape measure, and where this is about 9 1/4 high, I came up halfway, about 4.5, and I came in an inch from each end. And so this is where the 3 lag bolts will be going in each corner. So now I'll just pre-drill those in all of my corners and start assembling the first box. Here's the mocked up 10-foot bed. As you can see, I have clamps put on them, but unfortunately didn't have the wide enough a clamp, so I actually had 2. I just got them sort of hooked together there and got them clamped on both ends just to keep together. Now I'm going to bolt in the lag bolts. what I recommend, you can do it by hand, but it's probably better to use some sort of power drill or driver, because it's going to take a lot of wrenching to get it done. So that's what I recommend. Actually, that's what I'm going to be using here now. So here we have one box made. I screwed all the corner lag bolts in with my 18-volt DeWalt drill, and then I did a extra little torque down with a ratchet just to make sure they were all seated. And that bar right across there, I put that in the other boxes as well. It's just a little bit of a bracing so the soil won't bow out the middle, and I have that held in place with one lag and one long 3-inch wood screw. So now I just have 2 more of these to make and 2 12s, and then I'm all done, except for we're going to be painting the inside of these boxes with linseed oil and the outside with the linseed paint later. But I'll show you what the finished product looks like. I have the 4 10-foot beds made, and this here is the 12-foot bed. It's actually 12 foot long by 4 feet wide. I need to make another one now, but I just want to show you this one before I finish the video. These braces are off center because there's actually going to be a fence attached to the inside along right here, and this here is the center point where the center of the fence is going to be. So that's why they're off center. So I have to build one more of these units to go along with the 3 10-foots which I have out there, and then I'm done building the beds. Then it's on to staining and installing. So I hope you like this installment of the project, and thanks for watching.